Good morning and welcome back to Constellation Station. I'm Nicole from the Cincinnati Observatory, and here at Constellation Station we like to do three things. We like to learn a little bit about constellations. We like to figure out where we can find them up in the night sky, and then we like to make our own constellations in our own home using creative materials. And today we're talking about a constellation that goes along with a story that is connected to some other constellations we've talked about in the past. Do you remember when we talked about Andromeda or Cepheus or Cetus, or when we talked about Cassiopeia? All of those characters are a part of a story that sort of culminates with the character that we have today, which is Perseus. So Perseus is this constellation behind me, using these stars here and these stars up here. Now, this constellation is really going to need our imaginations, because even though we can find this constellation up in the night sky, I don't think it looks anything like what we're supposed to see. So Perseus is supposed to be this brave warrior who is the son of Zeus and is very strong and powerful and has a powerful sword that can cut through anything. And so Perseus is our hero of our story. But if we look at these stars, do you guys see a hero? I don't know if I do. Let's go ahead and connect the dots and see if we can find our hero by making these dots maybe a little bit more in the form of a person. So we will start up at the top here, and we're going to connect down here. So depending on how you draw this constellation, which stars you choose, which can depend on how who's making the constellation, we can think of maybe the head being up here. It really depends on how you're connecting the stars and what stars you're using. But we'll start with our star up here and connect all the way down here. So we can see, think of this as maybe the middle of Perseus's body, maybe around the torso. And now we're going to go into two different directions. We're going to go in this direction and in this direction. Sometimes this is the head and these are the legs, but it can be helpful to know a little bit more about our story to understand how this could be a little bit different. Maybe this is the head, these are the legs together, and here Perseus is holding something. So in our story, we have to go all the way back, and I'll remind you a little bit about our story of when Andromeda was in trouble. Andromeda was going to be eaten by Cetus, the sea monster, because his mother Cassiopeia said that she was the most beautiful person ever, even prettier than all the goddesses. So Perseus has to be our savior to save Andromeda from Cetus. Poseidon, the king of the sea, had put Cetus, has sent Cetus to get Andromeda, and Perseus has to think creatively to kill a sea monster, because we know from talking about Cetus the whale that he was really big. Whether you saw him as a whale or as a sea monster, he was pretty big. And Perseus, even though he was very powerful, he was just a man. So he decided to use his sword that was really powerful, could cut through anything, and he decided the best way to kill this sea monster is to go after Medusa. Medusa is another character in Greek mythology, and she's pretty famous for what's on her head. You may have heard that her hair is made out of snakes. Made out of snakes, I know. That sounds really scary. I don't think I'd want my hair to be made out of snakes. But Medusa had this special power that whatever she looked at would turn to stone. So she had these powerful eyes that could harm the things around her. So she seemed to be someone who you could not destroy. But Perseus took his sword, and he had a shield that acted as a mirror for him, and instead of looking at Medusa in the eyes, he looked at her in his shield as a mirror. And so he was able to sneak up on Medusa, chop her head off, I know, ew, and take the head to have Cetus the sea monster look at Medusa's head. So our Perseus could also be holding the head of Medusa. And Medusa's eyes could be these stars right here, and these could be the legs of Perseus. But no matter what, we're going to have to use our imagination, because I think either way it doesn't really look like a head, at least not to me. So we'll connect our dots here, whether you think that this is maybe one of Perseus's legs or if it's the head of Medusa. And we have these stars to connect as well. And I don't know if I decided whether this should be the legs or the head of Medusa. If you guys have a good idea, maybe you can draw it out for me and I can see it a little bit better. Because this uses a lot of imagination. Here we'll go to at least one leg, if not multiple legs, of Perseus. And we'll connect the rest of the stars down the line. So sometimes Perseus is also featured with this line going out here. It really just depends on how you make your Perseus and what stars you choose up in the night sky. That's the best thing about constellations, is we can kind of make them our own. We can use our imaginations. If you don't think this even looks like a warrior at all, and you want to say it looks like maybe a wishbone from a turkey, I think that is maybe what it looks like to me. And now I'm thinking about Thanksgiving. Oh no. But our constellation Perseus can be whatever you want it to be. So you can find this constellation up in the night sky if you look to the northeast and you see a bright star near the horizon. That bright star's name is Capella. That's right, just like my last name. And that Capella star is a part of a different constellation, and if you look right above it, that's where you'll find Perseus. So in the northeastern sky, above the horizon, above the Capella star, you'll see our stars that make up Perseus. So good luck finding Perseus in the night sky around 8 p.m. in the northeastern sky, and send us any pictures if you get pictures, or if you can draw a picture of Perseus that convinces me that he is this mighty warrior that slayed Medusa for her head. Post those pictures on Instagram or Facebook. You can tag us at Cincinnati Observatory, and I will see you guys next time here on Constellation Station.